Chapter 16. The Wisdom. They enter the inn, heading to the dining room when Min grabs Rand's arm, dragging him to the side. Min tells him, "A woman arrived, with a long dark braid. She's a part of it too, along with the rest of you." Rand says he knows the woman, but she can't be mixed up in their problem. Min explains, "There were sparks when she met Mistress Alice. Yesterday I could only see the sparks when at least 3 or 4 of you were together. You're all in more danger today than yesterday. Since she arrived," Rand assures Min that Nynaeve wouldn't do anything to harm them, then rejoins the others. Matt asks what Min had to say and Rand tells him that she warned Nynaeve as a part of things. When they reach the dining room, they all take a deep breath before entering. The frostiness emanating from the 2 women sat at the table at opposite ends negated the heat of the fireplace. Lan leant against the mantel, while Egwene stood with her back flat against the wall with her hood up, trying to hide her unbraided hair. Nynaeve was tugging her braids in frustration, and Rand threw caution to the wind by sitting at the table. The others begin to sit with them, taking his lead. Lan assures Nynaeve that the wine isn't tampered with, and asks how she found them. Taking a sip of wine so not to appear afraid, the wisdom answers that Baerlon was their obvious destination, but she tracked them anyway in case she was wrong. This impresses Lan, who prides himself on hiding his trail, making Nynaeve blush to Rand's surprise. Moraine asks Nynaeve to answer some questions. Now she can see that the boys are safe. Nynaeve says, "Why should I? All you've done is feed me a gleeman's tale, as an excuse for Aes Sedai to carry off 4 young people." Lan warns Moraine's status is not discussed here, so she must guard her tongue. Nynaeve says, "I can see no reason to help you hide. I'm here to bring them back home, not let you take them further away." Tom steps in, telling her, "If you want to keep them safe, you need to be careful." Jerking his head at Moraine and Lan, he continues, "There are those in Baerlon who would kill them for what they are. They would swarm the inn on a rumour just to get to them, not caring who gets hurt or killed in the process. You're all associated with them now, and White Cloak questioners assume guilt before they start. To them, the best confession is with hot irons and pincers. So watch what you say. I too have no wish to deal with questioners." Nynaeve says, "That's just another reason to bring them home with me in the morning. The sooner they're away from you, the better." Rand speaks up, saying, "We can't go back. The Trollocs will attack Emmons Field again. They're hunting us. We don't know why, but they are. We're hoping to find out why in Tar Valon and maybe put a stop to it." Nynaeve claims, "Now you sound just like Tam. He got himself carried to the village meeting, trying to convince everyone in the council. Somehow Mistress Alice has him convinced, even though for a man he usually has more sense. They all agreed you had to be brought home. Tam wanted to come, even though he couldn't stand." Matt asks what his Dar said, and she says, "Abel is more worried you'll try your tricks with Outlanders and get your head thumped than you being with her." Perrin wonders if Master Luan was upset, and Nynaeve snaps, "Did you expect him not to be?" She turns on Egwene. "I'd expected stupidity from the boys, but I thought you had more sense." Egwene just weakly says that she left a note explaining why. The Wisdom's face darkened and Rand knew her temper was building, and there would soon be an outburst. But as Nynaeve starts to shout about a note, Moraine interrupts, saying they must talk. Before they can, Rand speaks up again, saying nothing changes the fact that they can't return. They must go on. The Aes Sedai tells Nynaeve, "They will be safer with me than back home. My ability to touch the true source offers protection from the Dark One and his minions. I can extend that protection to those nearby, while Lan can sense Trollocs within a quarter of a mile. Can you offer them even half as much protection, Wisdom, if you take them home?" When Nynaeve keeps arguing, Moraine tells Egwene to take everybody out, to leave her alone with the Wisdom. They all eagerly got up to leave, waiting in the corridor outside, Lan included, who guarded the door from anyone eavesdropping. Tom didn't wait and left for the common room, and Rand was lost in thought, so had no idea of how long he'd waited before Nynaeve left the room, seeming angry at something that Lan whispered to her. She walked over to Rand, who now noticed he was alone with the Wisdom. She looks at his sword, telling him it fits him now, and that he's grown. Rand asks if Moraine has convinced her this is the only way, and is she coming with them. She asks, "Why would I do that? Mavra Malin only came up from Devonride to fill in for me temporarily, and I'm still hoping to convince you all to return. I don't trust this story with an Aes Sedai telling it. They're not to be trusted. Rand glances at the door, thinking he saw movement, but sees nothing. He comments that it sounds like she may believe them now, then asks what really happened at the village meeting. Looking at the doorway as if seeing something, Nynaeve admits. It was a shambles, but she doesn't need to know that. And the only thing I believe is that you're all in danger while you're with her. Rand asks why it was her that came. Sending the wisdom is like sending the mare. She remarks, You really have grown. I remember when you wouldn't have thought to question my actions. That was only last week. Taking his arm, she starts walking and tells him, Everyone agreed you needed to be brought home, but the village was split into 2 camps. One group wanted you rescued, though no one knew how, considering you were with the likes of her. The other group thought you shouldn't be left alone with strangers and needed someone with you. No one could agree who that should be, though every man volunteered. Your father, the mayor, even sent Bowie. The lights saved me from the stupidity of men. It seemed it would be days before anyone decided, so I told the women's circle what needed doing, and here I am. The men are probably still arguing about who to send, even though I left word I'd take care of it. Rand asks what Moraine wanted with her, and Nynaeve tells him she wanted to know about you boys, to see if she could find out why you've attracted the attention, she claims. Mostly she wanted to know if any of you were born outside the 2 rivers. Rand says, I hope you told her we were all born in Emond's Field. Nynaeve says that she did, but there was a tiny hesitation in her words that Rand picked up on. His mind whirled, thinking that she knew the truth. She is the wisdom after all. It wasn't a fever dream. Brokenly, and on the verge of tears, he tells her, When he was delirious, Tam said I wasn't his son, that he'd found me as a baby. Nynaeve stops walking and holding his face says, Oh, Rand, people see strange things in a fever. Tam Althor ran off seeking adventure as a lad of your age, and when he came back he was a man full grown, with a red-headed Outlander wife and a baby. I remember Carrie Althor loving you as much as any other mother. Rand asks why she didn't tell Moraine, and Nynaeve says it was none of her business. He asks if anyone else was born outside, but immediately tells her not to answer. It's not his business either. She agrees, then says his birthplace may not mean anything. Moraine could just be searching for reasons for those things to be after them. Rand says, So you do believe they're after us? Nynaeve accuses him of learning how to twist words since meeting Moraine. He asks what she's going to do now, and the wisdom replies, Today, I'm going to take a bath. Tomorrow, we'll have to see. Thanks for listening. Please like, share and subscribe and help get a new channel off the ground. Thank you.